Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Asian Psycho, and today I want to bring you guys a quick Combat Arms related commentary here that explains the nature of, competitive gaming. Now, if you guys don't know, if you guys haven't been caught up with my channel of what kind of videos I've been posting lately, I've been posting a lot of CGL scrims and practices. Now, if you don't know what that means, is CGL stands for Cyber Gamingly, I believe, and it's basically, if you guys have heard of Woggle or ICOG from days past, they're the competitive style of combat arms that the more the better. I shouldn't really say better in the generalization sense, but typically they are. But yeah, it's basically the more competitive side of combat arms, just like how there's a pub stomping and a competitive side of Call of Duty. Combat arms is much in the same way, and just like how Call of Duty has their MLG tournaments, the LAN tournaments, so to speak. Combat arms has its own online frag like cups or something like that. I'm not too sure the exact details because I'm very new to a scene, and I never really participated in it before. I'm just mainly a pub stomper, but I want to kind of get into the more competitive side of combat arms now, after being heavily influenced by the competitive scene of Call of Duty, and I will freely admit that because I've been watching a hell of a lot of it lately. But so that's what's been going on my channel, and because of that, lots of people are watching it, and lots of my subscribers don't really know what CGL is all about, and a lot of them, watch these videos and are wondering, like, Asian, why are you repeating everything like 2 or 3 times in a row? Like, why are you constantly yelling? Why are you constantly doing these things? It's getting pretty annoying, and I felt like I needed to make this commentary in order to address that, in order to explain why it is that I behave in such a manner while I do these CGL scrims, or just play competitively. And in order to explain that, the first thing I need to tell you guys is that you need to watch a competitive game. It doesn't have to be combat arms. It can be any first person shooter game. Call of Duty, Counter Strike, Halo. All those games are all first person shooters, obviously, and they all have competitive natures to them. And if you were to pay attention to how the players communicate, a lot of the players communicate in the same way as I do. They always yell. They always raise their voices to get their team hyped up. They always call out things that happen to them, or call out things that they see multiple times, not just once, not just twice, not even just 3 times, but maybe even more if they feel like it's necessary. And the reason for this is because it's a competitive game. There's something on the line. You are playing for something that's on the line, whether it be for money, whether it be just for simple bragging rights, just to prove that you're better than the other team that you're playing against. Whatever it is, it's competitive. And if you get into the competitive nature of it, the adrenaline starts pumping through you, and it's honestly, it's kind of hard to not act this way. It's hard not to act in a way that you act reserved or something like that, unless you're just that kind of person. Me personally, I'm the kind of person who can get really hyped and can get really into the thing I'm doing if there's something that I'm playing for, if there's something that I'm putting on the stakes in order to win or to lose. Whatever case, there's something I'm playing for, I will get hyped up to do it. And a lot of you guys, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it seems like you guys don't understand. It's like, I see a lot of comments just saying, why do you repeat a couple things like over and over? And that's why, I get hyped into the game. If there's things that I need to call out, there will be things I need to call out. I've explained this in a comment before that I've responded to in one of my comments. When someone asked me in one of my videos, one of those scrims, like, why do you call out things like twice or 3 times every single time? And I answered that person like, in the middle of a game like this, in the middle of a competitive game, you're not going to, sometimes you're so hyped, you've got so much adrenaline running through you that your teammates probably, or everyone's doing the same thing, like everyone's got adrenaline pumping through them, and when you call out something, it's probably not going to register the first time. Obviously, if you're being really, really into the game, you're so focused on the game, sometimes you don't really, you don't pay attention to your teammates all the time. It's kind of hard to concentrate on the game and on what your teammates are saying at the same time, especially if you're in the middle of a gunfight. So typically speaking, you're not going to focus on what your teammate says if they only say it once. If they only say it once, then it's like it just passes right through your head, and you may not grasp what they just said, and you may want to hear that a second time, but sometimes you're too busy to ask for your teammates to call out a second time. That's why I call out more than once. First time to get my teammates' attention, the second time to make sure it goes through their head, make sure that they do understand, acknowledge, hey, look, there's someone going down midfield, take him out, something like that. And that's kind of been my habit. I've played competitive games before, even before Combat Arms, like maybe sometimes in Soldier Front and whatnot. And that's the same way as I've always acted. That's the same way I've always played competitive games, and I doubt it'll change for Combat Arms. And so far, it really hasn't. And that's why I kind of call out more than what is necessary in some people's opinions. Some people may get a little frustrated. Some people may get a little bit annoyed by the fact that I'm constantly calling things out over and over. But it's kind of how I play the game. And if you're playing competitively and you've got all that adrenaline rushing through you, if you're up against a good team and you guys are fighting, you guys are playing your very best in order to win that game. Sometimes, hey, you're going to have people act like the way that I do, and get hyped, call out multiple times, and just overall repeat yourself and just have fun while doing it, because that's kind of how competitive games go. If you could look at Call of Duty the competitive scene of Call of Duty, you've got those guys, Clayster, you've got him, fucking Nameless. Who else hypes up their teams well? Guys like those, they constantly yell, they constantly call out, they constantly, repeat themselves over and over to make sure that their team is both hyped up and know what they're trying to say. It's not just me. It's not just me. And if you guys think that what I say is weird, then honestly speaking, I'm not really too sure if you guys can get yourselves into the competitive side of first-person shooters, because that's how a lot of players play. If you were to watch a lot of players play, whether it be Combat Arms, whether it be Call of Duty, whether it be Counter-Strike, whether it be Halo, whatever other competitive first-person shooter out there is, there will be guys like me who constantly do what I do. And I'm not trying to say that I'm not trying to give an excuse for what I've been doing, because it's really not. I'm explaining why I do this, and if you guys really don't like me repeating things over and over because you guys think it's obnoxious, then it's not. You guys have to understand that it's not obnoxious at all. I don't really mean it to be, and my teammates don't. At least I don't think they do. My teammates don't consider it to be obnoxious. If you were to play a competitive game and you're fighting tooth and nail for that W, then a little bit of screaming here or there isn't going to annoy you at all. And if it does, then I'm not really too sure if you're qualified to play competitive games or anything of that nature. But that's what I just wanted to mention in this commentary. The reason why I behave the way I do in those scrims and those CGL practices, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this commentary. Hopefully I've convinced you to understand. But it is what it is, and just because some people say, "Oh, you're repeating things a lot," doesn't mean I'll stop. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.